Kenner, we're Vaper Trawn.
And it's been a while since we've done a video. Things are still kind of hectic. We're kind of also not quite financially where we'd like to be, so buying a bunch of different flavors to do reviews of course, is really just not an option at this point. We're depending mainly on DIY for our e-juice at this point because of that. So that's why we haven't really done many reviews lately, because we just don't have anything to review.
But we still vape.
Oh yes, definitely. So basically that's where it has been kind of holding us back a little bit recently. In the meantime though, I did realize that the last time I did a DIY video, I just did a massive batch, which, you know, good example if you're doing a big batch, but doesn't really tell you much or show you much in terms of if you're doing a smaller batch. And we kind of need some more e-juice right now, so we're going to do a batch for Trevor here of a very, very simple recipe. It's quite simply sweet watermelon. Now, of course, like any other DIY recipe, you can tweak these numbers a bit more to your flavoring, a little more sweet, a little less sweet. You can just use watermelon without the sweetener if you want. That's entirely up to you. We've got our ingredients here. We've got our watermelon flavoring, our sweetener, our nicotine, and of course our VG. And in a standard 30 ml batch, basically, as long as you aren't going any higher than 80 VG, you would want your flavoring total between these two, or however many you have, to equal about 20% of the total mix, because these are in a PG base, so that'll be your PG there. So in this case, in a 30 ml batch, 20% would be about 6 milliliters total. The recipe we're going to be using calls for 4.5 milliliters of this, or about 15% of the watermelon, and about 1.5 milliliters, or 5% of the sweetener. And we're going with a 3 milligram per milliliter mix, so we'll be using 0.9 of the 100 milligrams per milliliter nicotine base, which is in a VG base, so it won't affect the PG-VG balance. It'll just come out of what we would have added in VG if we were doing a zero nicotine base. So, to start off, well, I won't need the gloves right away. To start off, of course, we'll be adding our watermelon flavoring. Now, I like to have something here, like paper towel, something clean to lay things on. It just tends to come in handy. And like I said, 4.5 milliliters. So this will take a few moments. I apologize for the amount of time this is going to take. Who knows, maybe Trevor, when he's doing the editing, will be able to speed up this section a little bit somehow.
Yeah, I'm not that advanced yet.
No? Oh, well.
I can do it, but I end up speeding up the whole video once it exports.
3.
I know I could probably do it in a separate timeline, but that's not related to this channel.
Yeah.
I'm the only one that does the
4.
editing. I'm trying to teach Sean, but...
Yeah, Trevor is definitely more the tech guy than I am, though over time we're kind of learning each other's fields of expertise. And a half. So 4.5 mils of watermelon.
This is Fruit Loops.
That's the same flavoring as I did in that big batch a while ago. We've done a couple of batches like that since. But like I said, this time we're doing a much smaller batch, just so that we can give an example. And just to, you know, kind of fill in this empty space, I'd like to mention, if you tend to cook a lot at home, but you're also the kind of person who tends to experiment a little bit with your recipes, you know, try a little bit of extra of this or a bit of less of that. Basically, if you like to customize your dishes in the kitchen, then in addition to the money savings, I would definitely recommend this for you. That's 1.5 right there. That's our 5% sweetener. But if you're the kind of person who likes to do that, customize your recipes in the kitchen, then this is definitely a big benefit for you, because of course, you know, you're exactly the kind of personality that will be able to benefit from being able to customize your flavoring mixes in this, because that's really what you need to truly gain from this. It will benefit anyone, of course, you know, if you're the kind of person who likes to follow the recipe exactly, then of course it'll benefit you anyway in terms of the fact that you will save money, plain and simple. And of course, you can customize to different amounts of nicotine than you can normally get in a commercial blend. But to really get the full benefit of it, as you notice, I'm putting on my gloves now at this point because I'm going to handle the nicotine itself.
And when you're doing nicotine, make sure you have a syringe specific for nicotine. In this case, we use a white syringe. The rest of our syringes got blue plungers. This one's got a white plunger.
Yeah, it's definitely good. Even if they're all the same market in some way, put like a piece of colored tape or something on the one with nicotine. On the side without the markings, of course. You don't want to mess up what you're doing there.
So 0.9, which is a very, very low.
Yeah, this will, out of a 100 milligram per milliliter base into a 30 milliliter total recipe, will give you 3 milligrams per milliliter of nicotine.
At this point, I think Sean is so smart. He probably doesn't. He does all this stuff. He probably doesn't need to measure it. He can probably just do it right off the bat without measuring it.
Well, no, I'd have to measure it, but yeah. Thank you, though.
Now, what we usually do is we mix it. Once we put all the flavorings in, we mix it.
Yeah, just switch it around a little bit.
Like this. Now, if you're making a big batch, we generally put our big batches sometimes in a plastic,
measuring cup or something.
Measuring cup.
Plastic or glass will do.
Yeah, and then we use the mixers that comes with these kits that you can buy at Rock Vapor for $49.99. Or sorry, not Rock Vapor, Vape City for $49.99.
Although Rock Vapor does sell DIY.
They do, but
supplies as well. I don't know if they have the mixer though. I've never checked.
Vape City sells these. I think it's $49.99. That comes with your VG or PG, whatever you prefer.
Although that price can change.
That price can change, but the spare case that we usually pay is $49.99. That makes us.
Yeah, I think that's about right.
That usually makes us about what? That makes about 600 mils of E-juice.
Yeah.
So
approximately. No, that's only if we buy the extra thing of flavor.
Okay.
Yeah. Wow. So, sorry, we don't want to confuse you too much with numbers there, because we're kind of just also remembering those numbers at the top of our head. So if any of those aren't quite right, sorry.
We'll put the link in the description to where we got this kit on the Vape City website.
Yeah. Most of these materials came from them, although every now and then we get some from Rock Vapor as well. Especially if we just need the one bottle. We don't want to...
Most of the vape shops around here these days actually sell DIY supplies now.
Yeah.
However, they charge the most.
Yeah.
Everything has gone up in Newfoundland.
Yeah, unfortunately. But then I think it's probably gone up everywhere because, of course, inflation affects everything, including this industry. Now, we use a program on the computer called E-juice Me Up to get our exact numbers. You don't have to be a math genius for it. 23.1, but I literally just took a picture of the screen, computer screen, so I'd have the numbers in front of me. Just to be certain to refer to. I actually pretty well knew it was 23.1, but I am a bit obsessive about my numbers. I'm one of those math geeks who is gets very irritated when people don't pay attention to making sure the numbers are accurate. I'm sure Trevor is very familiar with that by now. We worked together once at a booth, and I went nuts recounting everything over and over again one time because the till was off by a nickel.
Yeah, a nickel.
23.1. Now, of course, the marks on this are 0.2 marks, so I'm kind of having to bite the bullet and accept, okay, that's approximately halfway between the marks.
And that's that one.
And that's it. And that's really all there is to it. If you have a computer, I don't know if it's available on Apple or not. Is it? Did you use Me Up?
I have no idea. I don't use Apple.
Yeah. But it is available on Windows, and hopefully there's something similar available on Apple. Give that a good shake there now. That's really all that's up to that.
Make sure you always shake your juice before you drip. Should we try it on the video?
I just dripped before the video. How dry is yours? And my cotton needs to be changed anyway.
Oh, there we go. It's another video.
Perhaps. We will see. But,
No, mine's pretty wet.
and I was just saying something and I can't remember what it was now. Wow. See, that's what happens when you interrupt. Shocking. Shocking, I tell you.
So yeah.
But yeah, it's pretty basic. Oh yes, about the program. If you have a Windows computer at least, I know it's on that, and hopefully it's on Mac as well, or something similar is, you literally just put in the numbers you want, the totals, and as long as you're going no higher than 80 VG, you will want your flavoring, like I said, to equal about 20%. And you can use that to calculate any size batch you want. Literally just Google E-juice me up, and you'll be able to find that program quite easily. And we have found it to be very useful, very beneficial to us in trying different blends.
And also we...
especially when we were doing our s'mores blend.
Oh, yeah.
We went through like 5, I think it was, different versions before we got it exactly right.
Actually, one of our friends wanted to start DIYing his juice. And it's so simple, we taught him, and he has never done any like measuring like this. And we taught him how to, and...
He did it in a matter of minutes.
He did it in what, 10 minutes, if that?
I don't think it was even that, to be honest with you, before he understood exactly what he needed to do. And so yeah, it's very simple, very easy. You just need to be careful. Always wear gloves when you're handling your nicotine concentrate. And other than that, you know, make sure you're, if you do reuse your bottles, make sure they are good and clean before you reuse them. Like, be very careful in cleaning them out. If you can get one in your area, get like a small bottle brush that will fit down into it. If not, well, like I said, just be as cautious as you possibly can.
We usually clean our bottles with
boiling water.
Boiling water.
Yeah.
And well, boiling
that
water
works quite well, of course.
Perfectly.
All the ingredients in e-juice tend to dissolve quite well in water, hot water, especially. So of course that does a very good job.
Our camera's starting to complain at us.
That's about everything, yeah. We need to get a better SD card for it. But that's about it. So there we've got a nice little batch of watermelon. Is yours dry enough to drip?
Not really, no.
No? Oh well. We can assure you it's quite good. We've done this before. It's a little, like I said, we love watermelon. And we did add a bit of sweetener, so it's a bit sweeter than just watermelon would be. If you don't like things that sweet, just use 6 milliliters of just the watermelon flavoring. Leave the sweetener out altogether. Or go in between those numbers any way you choose. In the meantime, that's about it. Very simple, very easy, and a brand new batch of e-juice. In the meantime, this is Vaper Trawn.
Oh, wait, no, don't forget to like.
Oh yes.
Like,
comment,
subscribe,
and share.
And follow us on Twitter.
We barely ever use Twitter.
Yeah.
Don't bother with Twitter. Yet. We'll be more active in the future though.
This is Vaper Trawn.
Out.